Good morning. Alright. Looking this car over, as I do every morning. Where the floor pan goes to the trunk pan, it's pretty close, but I want to get some pressure on that to lift up, press it nice and tight against that trunk pan. So I'll bring you in to show you here. Welding this 1/2x3 to my horses so I can clear the brace that is on the trunk pan. I need a nice flat surface to reach up between where the floorboard comes up like this. There's a little flat right here, and then right here's the brace. I need that to go up in between to put pressure against that lip. All right, I'll bring you in. See, that is going to push that lip right into place, so that's good. And I've got the front setting on these mounts here, so now I can get this pulled down into place, get that welded up. We'll be good to go. Okay. I need, since I pushed that up, it pushed it forward, so I need to get it pulled back into place. Okay. Oh, man. It's a cramped little back seat now. Okay, I gotta get underneath and look. Okay, looking this thing over. Let me get down here. I can show you what I'm looking at. The reason when I push this tab up that it pushed this forward is this is too long. It needs cut off right there. When you push this up, it's pushing this forward on the edge of that lip. So, yeah, that's gonna be fun. Great. Looks like I'm using a cutoff wheel over my head. Alright, well, I will get I'm gonna get my creeper and get up under here and start cutting. About halfway there. All right, that'll work. And when they stamp these panels, they always leave a little bit of extra, so you have room to cut and cope and fit. Okay, now slide this back in. Okay, that should work right there. Okay, now if I can roll over top of all these walnuts and acorns, I'll bring you back up on top. All right, now we should be able to pull that back in where it needs to be. Okay, I'm struggling here to get this clamp to stay when I pull on it. So, I rearranged it a little bit. Alright, that looks good right there. Maybe just a hair farther. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna grab my hammer and I'm gonna get a tack here and then turn around and work on the opposite side. Okay, get a tack and cinch down. Okay, now I need to get that pulled back just like I did on the other side. Oh yeah, that's what I like to see right there. Come on. Little, right there. Get this tack just because you got new panels. Just because you got new panels does not mean everything is gonna fit exactly perfect. All right, that looks good all the way across. Nice and tight. Okay. When you tack pieces on like that, you don't want to just break it off. You want to take it nice and easy so you'll break the weld. But see how that broke the weld? I went slow back and forth. All right. Now, spot it all the way across there just like it was originally. Get the trunk wiring out of the way here. Okay, now that's tacked in place. Now I can push that up, tack it, work my way around, get that welded back to the floor pan, and then go to the other side and do the same thing over there. Get that spotted across there, and that'll be the first part of the floors done. Then I'm going to go to the front of the car and jack and twist and pull and get that tunnel in place, and then start working on this. Well, once I get the tunnel in place, I can come along the sides here, get that all welded back on, and then I'll go to the toe boards and the kick panels. all of that is top side welded. That's gonna secure that whole section. Once I get it on the rotisserie, I'll roll it up and I'll go in between each one of them tacks on the other side of that lip. That's more than what they did from the factory. And then once I seam seal it, it'll be good to go. Now, I need to get this cinched together where it needs to be, because that's my starting point for up here. And then I can get this along the sides tacked down just like I did back here, and the floor will be in. All I'll have to do, I'm going to cut that whole section out on both sides and replace it with 16 gauge. I don't like using 18 gauge, which that's what they are factory. I just like to do a little bit heavier than original. Once I get that all undercoated and seam sealed and all that, it'll last so much longer. Yeah. All right, so my thoughts on that. I'm gonna lift the front of the car up here. I'm gonna take this horse and turn it sideways so it'll hold right here. And then I'll get inside and tap around, and it should go exactly where it needs to be. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. It went down nice and tight all the way around. Now, once I'm on the rotisserie, I'm going to spot that on the other side. Once I'm on the rotisserie and I can roll it around, I can work this lip and get that nice and tight. But yeah, that's right where it needs to be. Okay, I'll get that tacked on there and start working on this. That went right in place. I like that. Come around this side and get in your way here. That's nice and tight. Beautiful. Okay. Well, at this point, I can get it back off that block, set it back on the horses. That'll work. Really? Try this again. I like it. Excuse me, I need in there. Yeah, right here where you're at. Okay, now this side needs just a little bit of persuading to get around this rusty kick panel. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tack this right there. And hopefully do that right there. Perfect. Come on. Extremely concerned up in here because I'm going to be cutting all this out and putting new in. This all tacked down and go slow. You don't want to just beat it down because then you're going to push this bottom away from where it needs to be. This has got to be at a certain, actually it needs to be flat. So you need to go slow and make sure it comes down where it needs to be without moving too far. Good. So now I guess I got to start welding again. This area here, when they did that in the factory, they had a notch here and here where these two braces are. When the robot put them together, that's where they welded it to hold it in place, and then they come back and spot welded everything else. All these holes that I'm plugging, when I cut that, I cut on the outside of their spot welds. So these spot welds are actually bigger than the originals were. After I get done, I'll grind this all up and I'll take your seam sealer, go right along that just like they did in the factory. cut this out and replace that before I put this in, but I didn't want to risk any more movement than I had to. So now that this is in and everything's stable, I'm leaving these in. I'm not going to take them out for a while. Now that I got this welded in and this, I can cut all this out I want. It's not going to go anywhere. All right. All right. So what we have is an issue with the body mounts. If you remember, when I took this thing off the frame, it just fell off. I don't know if you can see up in there. They broke off. At least it's long enough that I can actually do something with it. Only one came out. That's this one right here. Okay. So I am going to remedy that. And that is really common on any vehicle. When they put it together, inside that metal sleeve, inside the rubber, moisture gets in there and seizes it up and just starts rusting away. So, all right, I am going to clean those up. I'm going to get a nut that'll slide over top. I'm going to weld the nut to those, and I'm going to heat it up. And they should, God willing, come right out. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean all the debris out of here. Be so bad. All right. Now I'm going to take the wire wheel, also known as the cheek poker, and clean what's left of the original bolts. Okay, I'm going to take a nut and I'm going to clamp it in my vice grips. Hook my ground right to the vice grips. I'm gonna go with the worst one first. Okay. Get my helmet. And I'm going to get a good weld on that. Alright, now, you know what, I'm going to get a little bit more weld. Since I got room to get above it, I'm going to try to get a weld on the top side of that. The better you get it welded, the better chance you have of it coming out. So, I guess I'd put my helmet on. It might help, it might not. Want to do a heat cycle. I welded that up, it heated the bolt up. Now I'm going to let it cool for just a minute, and then I'm going to take the torch and come in right here and heat up that main nut that's inside the cage. Then I'll take the ratchet and try to loosen it up. Alright, now I'm going to try to get in here and just heat that nut. I know you're heating the rest of it up as well, but you want your main focus on that nut. Okay, let's see what we got here. Don't grab the nut. And there you go. 3 more to go. Actually 2 more, because 1 actually unbolted. Now before I go putting a bolt back in that body mount, I'm going to run a tack through it just to clean them threads up. Alright, do you think we'll get it again? If I could get my light to stay where I want it. Okay. Come on now. Okay. See if I can do this again. rust burns. Two for two. Okay, now what did I do with my vice grips? Let's tighten them up just a little bit better this time after I clean it out. Get my clamps. Yeah, come on now. Last one's gonna fight me holding it in place. That's the way it goes though. Okay, it's tacked. Try this in a little bit different, see if I can. Okay. Having the clamps up there just in the way. Yeah, see if that'll work. Okay, let's put some heat on it. Well, hopefully I got that one hot enough. The bracket was a little bit different on that cage nut. Come on now. I I welded that nut on a little crooked on this one. I couldn't use the ratchet. And there we go. Now, that one's clear, that one's clear, that one, and that one. All the ones in the back of the vehicle are brand new, so, and yes, I will still chase those holes even though they're brand new, just to make sure everything's clear. There you go. Anybody need some GTO bolts? I'll sell them cheap. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and chase these threads. You know what? I'm gonna do this the easy way. I'm just not all impressed at how this rotisserie is going to hook up to it. I am going to be cutting that curve right there out of it, which comes up right there. You can see the spot welds there where this plate, which is the mount, is attached. If I go and attach that rotisserie to the factory mount and then I cut that out, it's potential for disaster. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I am going to hold off on the rotisserie at this point. I think I'm just going to work over my head. What I need to do is just leave it upright. Do all this kind of repair just the way it is. And I'm going to have to dig my frame table out because it's nice and flat. And pick up some tubing for uprights. Position that about, I don't know, 16 inches off of the frame table. Bolt it, and bolt it. I know it won't move. Then I could go ahead, once the quarter panels come in, I can go ahead and replace all that. I know the car is stable. It is not going to move. It's going to be a minute before the frame comes in, so I want to get that stuff done. If the quarter panels come in, I can get this put on that frame table, get it bolted to the table. It'll never move. I can go ahead and do the rockers, the quarter panels, all that could be done. I can get up underneath and do all the welding and get that taken care of and get the quarters and taillight panel taken care of, inner wheel wells, all that right there on the frame table. I think that's going to be my best bet. Once I go to do the undercoating and all that, so what? I lay on my back. That ain't no big deal. But looking at it, I think I'm looking at disaster if I go making mounts to bolt up right here when I've got to cut that part out that's attaching that. So I'll go ahead and get this repaired. It's not going to be fun doing that. Same way with the kick panels. It's not going to be fun, but I'll get it. I got to check to see how much 16 gauge I have. Yeah, I ought to have plenty. Yeah, about a third of a sheet. Yeah, if I cut it right, I should have plenty. I need to go get some 16 gauge and get some tubing to mount this to the frame jig, table, whatever you want to call it. All right, well, I think I'm out of here.